Hello, Saving Country Houses.
I'm Rowena.
And I'm James.
And welcome to our home, Pitchford Hall.
It's a big Tudor timber-framed house built to impress. There are bits in the hall that go back to 1280.
Come on in.
Okay, so we're in the Great Hall of Pitchford Hall, a wonderful Tudor building, and this is one of our Tudor rooms. Ancestors on the wall just here. There's Lady Cassandra Ridgway, painted in 1611, and then we'll go into the drawing room.
Yeah, so the drawing room is a beautiful room. It's got incredible plaster ceiling, and I've always thought this was one of the most lovely rooms. Obviously, it's got this incredible bay window looking out onto the ancient parkland.
The house just goes on and on and on and on. And I think, in a sense, the Victorians elongated the house. So it's a very, very long house. Okay, we're just going to go up the staircase in the east wing of the hall. There's a wonderful view of the clock tower from here.
And you'll see Queen Victoria's bedroom, where she stayed when she was 13 and would have slept in there with her mother and Lazen, her nanny. So very special room for us.
Looking at what Victoria looked like when she was a 13-year-old girl, I think this is a symbolism of Victoria. And I think they would have wanted to kind of remember the fact that she visited Pitchford. And over here, you can maybe just get a glimpse of it. There's the treehouse. And the treehouse is the world's oldest treehouse. So it dates back to, we think, about 1670. It's got this incredible plasterwork in the ceiling, and then Queen Victoria visited it in 1832. We think she had tea.
I was a baby when my mother inherited Pitchford. It was the most wonderful family home. I feel incredibly lucky. What an idyllic childhood. My parents were great fun. There were always people here. The kettle was always on. The door was always open. I did really realise how privileged I was. It was just a really joyous and happy place to grow up.
And we'll go down this corridor. Takes you all the way to bedroom A.
When King George came to stay, he slept in this bedroom. It was also the first bedroom that James ever slept in.
But the other really fascinating thing about this room is it has a priest hole. And obviously, because it's a priest hole, it's concealed, and you can see there's a slight difference here. And then there's a little latch that you just push here, and then it opens up here. And now I'm going to go down it, start going down the ladder. You'll see there is a trapdoor which would normally be down. Obviously, if you were a priest, you'd have this down. And there's plenty of evidence that the owner of the house was a Catholic, when clearly that was a challenging time to be a Catholic in the early 1600s. So you could get 3 or 4 priests down here ultimately. There have been people living here, probably roughly on this spot for 1,000 years.
The fact is that my mother was very sadly the first owner that ever had to sell Pitchford, and before that it had had this continuous line since the Doomsday times. So yes. I remember coming to James in floods of tears upstairs, but neither of us could believe it. And so the best thing James ever did was to try and cheer me up. He took me to an oak tree and we made a vow to try and get the house back again. And that that really gave me a feeling of hope and inspiration.
I think exactly as Rowena says, her parents, tried to shield her all to the absolute last minute, and in the end had to tell her, we have lost this hall.
It was so awful seeing everything just sort of before my eyes disappear, like all the contents had been sold. It was just a really strange feeling looking into that house that had used to be so full of life and just see nothing. Empty and sad and just desolate.
We had this 25-year gap because it was shut up. It was on the English Heritage Buildings at Risk Register.
I have to admit, I did sometimes come in as close as I could to sort of see what was going on. And we'd sometimes peer through the windows and you'd see these empty rooms. It was very, very strange.
And, we tried our hardest. We tried our hardest for many years. And it eventually came good. 25 years on, we signed the sales contract.
Yeah, what an incredible moment that was. But also not knowing what to expect, because I hadn't been in here for so long.
Coming back to a house where she had all those family memories that's derelict. Cobwebs, bats flying around, plaster was kind of coming off the ceiling. That's a shock.
To my amazement, my parents' newspaper was still sitting on the kitchen table.
The weird thing, everything was left from 1992.
Sadly, my parents weren't alive to see this incredible moment, but I really felt that they'd be happy and proud, and I don't know, you don't get many moments like that in your life, do you?
And then being hit with the realisation of, in a sense, a journey we have to travel on over the years in terms of restoring the place. So massive mixed emotion. Plenty of people thought we were mad, probably still do, but there are lots of people who actually inspired us and said you can do it and stick with your dream, and that's obviously what we did, and this is why you're in a derelict kitchen. And then we'll go into more of the derelict rooms. So here's another little kind of fire. Yeah, these are the rooms, we need to preserve and just get this right. So when I walk down here, I feel I'm on a slope, and that's because I am on a slope, and that's because this part of the house is subsiding, and that to me obviously means, it's going to be a big and expensive restoration.
One of the first things we did when we came back was light the fire, and it was the first time that smoke had been rising from the chimneys for 25 years. So it was really noticed by people in the village, and it was a great sign of, hope and symbolism that life was back in the hall. And even my parents, this was one of the few paintings they managed to keep, and they knew that James and I were trying to get that house back, and I think they always had this dream that one day it would hang in Pitchford again.
Painted in 1596. The importance is that people can see that the house is, and the contents of the house are coming back.
I feel that the house has that positive feeling again, and it has got that spirit back again.
We'll get there. I'm absolutely convinced of that. And I still absolutely feel the magic of the place.